This route here is about up to my hip. There's actually a big hole on the other side, about a foot or two deep. I want to point this out though. It looks like someone has chopped up this part of the trunk here, and it was covered this entire median here, but it looks like they've cleaned it up. We still got a big bunch of branches here though. This is where the car backed into the store. And you can see firefighters have showed up to actually help the police officers pry this car out. They just broke that door. You can see them going at it with an axe right now. And that's when a car on this eastbound lane right here actually lost control and spun out, crossed the median here. You can see the tire marks. This is the bottom of a tree. It's nearly as tall as I am, and it toppled over into the yard of this home. But right next door, right here, we have a tree that just snapped off. And over on this side, that looks pretty clear, but the second you come over on this side, you can just see how much more yellow it becomes. And for being a tourist area, it is pretty deserted here, but a lot of heavy emotions under that tent here. I am going to walk a few steps this way to show you the building though, where that demolition is expected to take place here in just a few minutes. You know, I'm not a sports reporter for KKTV, but I am a Denver native, so this is very exciting for everyone in Colorado. We actually just behind us saw a few deer crossing Highway 24, so you know, just something to be aware of the wildlife here as well. I actually don't have anyone to play with this morning. It's quite early. We're going to do some practice swings. Oh, didn't even make it across. I think people are scared to play me this morning. My skills are too good. A lot of these balloons that are starting to inflate here this morning, it kind of reminds me of that little parachute game that you do in elementary school. Does anyone remember that? But we've seen a lot of bikers and a lot of helmets, which is great, and a lot of very tight pants to report. Horses are like big therapy animals. They mirror the feelings that a veteran may be feeling. So if you're feeling anxious, so will your horse, which can help you recognize any issues of mental health you may be having. Had a little bit of time to get out of here and grab some things like photos or documents, but others not so lucky. They had to get out with just the shirts on their back and maybe even their pets. It was what firefighters described as a normal Saturday night in November that turned very wrong very quickly. And while firefighters' physical training kicks in on the scene, their mental training can take some time to adjust.
It was a very cold night. I do remember that. I remember as the event was coming in, there was a lot of chatter coming up on the radio. Both of us got the feeling that this was something real, just the way it was dispatched and the manner it was dispatched.
Jeremiah on the left took over triage, while Brian on the right was in charge of transport and incident command support.
As those incidents are very chaotic in the beginning,
we try and calm the chaos in our minds and within the scene, and that was difficult. That was difficult to do, and I don't think that we actually were able to calm the chaos.
But among the chaos, Colorado Springs emergency crews were able to get the victims to the hospital within an hour. But firefighters oftentimes can't leave their emotions on scene.
For me, it was exhausting, and not in a physical sense, in an emotional sense. It really takes a lot out of you, realizing now that you're winding down, you're realizing what really just happened there.
The mental side of it is, I don't know that you can prepare for things like this.
For the last 10 years, the Colorado Springs Fire Department has a peer support program to help members of the department with their mental health after seeing and experiencing tragic scenes.
We heal best initially after the incident together as a crew.
Dealing with it over the last year has been kind of it's very personal, it's very individual, how you deal with tragedy and loss.
In the last year, not just as a firefighter and not even just as a Coloradan, but as a human, how do you think this has changed you?
I never used to think twice about going into larger crowds of people or being with crowds of people, but now, unfortunately, that's something that I think about. Does it change what I do? Probably not, but it's become more top of mind to me.
I think that has made me realize that this is a fact of life in our society, a fact of life in our city. Our state seems to have a propensity for mass violence, and it's a realization that this will not be the last one that we see in our careers.
I got some hot tea and I got some hot coffee.
That hasn't been said in this building for over 19 months.
I almost cried. We'd been coming here so long.
An unfortunate night where an accidental electrical fire spread through the restaurant, injuring a firefighter.
They were injured in the leg during that firefight and taken to the hospital, but we have been updated. That firefighter was released already.
Booths burned, the kitchen destroyed, and about 30 staff members without a job.
Many of them at that time went and found new jobs, other employment. We did bring back a couple of employees. There were offers that were made also, but being that it was so long ago, a lot of them have moved into other positions.
How are y'all doing over here today?
And regulars without a place to go.
My pastor and I have been meeting here for about 7 years. The gal, Skeeter, who would wait on us, if she saw me pulling in the parking lot, I'd walk in, the coffee and my water would be there.
Gary McClendon's coffee and water is there again, in the very booth he's sitting in.
Although they flipped the Corvette parts, around a little bit.
Back in place, after staff put the whole restaurant back together.
My name's Shaggy. I'll be taking great care of you.
I'm so excited to be open again and to have people come in and enjoy our restaurant, enjoy the vibe, the nostalgia.
Skeeter, if you're out there, we miss you.